We got to focus on the future. We got to start feeling the feelings of a successful individual that you see in your mind. In other words, when you go diamond, how will you feel? How will you feel? You're a brand new diamond. You're backstage, see these black curtains. Somebody's up here. They're introducing your name, and you're hearing your name being introduced, and you're starting to walk up those steps to come out here to be introduced as a new diamond. How would you be feeling? How would you feel? Would it just be, would you like forget your own name? Would you be like, man, I don't even know what to say? Would your stomach be going crazy? How would you feel? Well, how about if you imagine that so much that you're feeling like that all the time? See, a lot of people are not chasing dreams. They're totally working a business. Those are two different things. You're just in the grind. I'm just doing this. Well, that's not inspiring. That's not moving. But, man, if you continually feel the victory, see the victory, confess the victory, then you know what? You're going to become that victory because people are they're going to be attracted to that. There's two things we want to do when we're focusing on the future. We've got beliefs and we got doubts. And what we want to start doing is we want to start believing our beliefs and doubting our doubts. Let me explain this because this is important. A lot of people, all they talk about is the dream, which is great. It's important. It's like, hey, the vision, where are you going? But what they also might want to really consider doing is what's also holding us back. See, there's two parts to that whole thing. If you just see the future and the vision, hey, that's great, but you also don't figure out how to get rid of the anchor, right? What's anchoring, what's doubting you, then you can just get frustrated. So here's what most people do. They doubt their beliefs, and they believe their doubts. There's a big difference. They start buying into all the doubts, all the stuff that's coming into your head. I'm not worthy. I can't do this. All that, you start believing that. You start buying into that. And what you got to realize is, hey, you know, when those thoughts come into your head, you got to say, no. No, that's wrong. I do not believe that. In fact, I'm going to doubt all those doubts. Because I'm not here by chance. I'm here for a specific reason. I'm going to doubt those doubts, and I'm going to choose to believe my beliefs. I'm going to choose to believe that I can actually do this. Norman Vincent Peale said, throw your heart over the fence, and the rest of you will follow. Throw your heart over the fence, and the rest of you will follow. See, some of you are trying to throw your whole self over the fence. And it's like, you know what? All you need to do in the beginning is just throw your heart. Just get your heart engaged and throw it over the fence. How many people can emotionally just get their heart into their future when you're successful in this business? You pull down a diamond ship or a blue diamond ship or a black diamond ship or whatever it is, how would that affect your life? See, here's the key. If you can engage in that so much and you emotionally can get wrapped around what that victory would be like, your heart will be, you'll grab your heart. How many people in your life will be affected when that kind of victory happens? Let it grab your heart. Let your heart be tugged on through that. Then the rest of you will actually show up and claim that victory. But your heart has to be first. You know, I remember when my oldest son was born, Chase. It's a good thing you remember that. It's profound. But more importantly, I remember going in to see the doctor 6 weeks after conception. I had some help with fertility stuff, and so the doctor actually performed all the procedures and stuff, which is a really weird way to create a pregnancy. I won't go there, but it's like when you go into a room and the doctor says, well, what do you say the three of us get pregnant? I'm like, that's not how I pictured it, but anyway. I don't know why I just said that. It has nothing to do with the topic, but just sort of stuck, you know. But I came back and he said, why don't you come back 6 weeks later? I said, why? Because he said, in 6 weeks, you can see the heart start beating. I went, are you kidding me? So we went back to the doctor's office and put the ultrasound thing on, and it's 6 weeks into it. And a lot of people don't even know they're pregnant 6 weeks, right? So 6 weeks, put the ultrasound on there, and sure enough, there's a little picture there, and it was like moving a little. He goes, that's the heart. See it? It's just started beating. It has just started beating. I'm like, oh my! I was like, whoa. It was incredible. It was one of the most emotional things I've ever seen, the beating of 6 weeks old, 6 weeks into life. And then I was looking at it and I said, that's awesome. And I see the heart, and I said, but where's like the rest of them? And he goes, well, what do you mean? I go, well, like the head, and arms and legs and stuff. And he looked at me without hesitation. He goes, oh, well, he doesn't have a head. I'm like, did I not get like the full package? I mean, if I read it wrong, I was actually, I'll pay more. I wanted the whole deal, Thinking, oh man, did I blow this one? And then he looked at me, and this was one of the most profound moments of my life. He said, no, you don't understand. He goes, he'll have a head and arms and legs and all that. He goes, but at first, everything starts with a heart. And everything comes from there. I'll never forget that moment. I remember thinking, isn't that the truth? It all starts with a heart. Throw your heart over the fence, and the rest of you will follow. And you know what? You can do that if you don't have all this baggage that you're bringing in from the past. Oh, I was in that thing, and then we were in this thing, and then this happened, and that happened, and all this stuff. It's like, you know what? Shed the baggage, because it's really hard to jump over anything if you're carrying this big load. Throw your heart over the fence because you're free of your past baggage, and get your heart so into it, and everything will come from there. Everything will come from there. So let me just finish on the third and final point. And this is the point that Randy just nailed last night for those who are here. And that is act now. Not just act and be busy, as he pointed out, but act. Everything should be in alignment with what's going to get the results that you're looking to achieve. That may mean you may need to rearrange some schedule, you may rearrange some priorities, and it doesn't necessarily mean this is going to be the way it's going to be for a lifetime. If any of you are runners, you understand, if you're running a marathon and stuff, you don't do the exact same pace the whole way through. You set an average you want to hit, but there's surges. There's times you say, you know what, I'm gonna really hit it over this mile. I'm gonna hit this mile hard. I'm gonna go faster. And then I'll ease back a little bit, and that's just how the game's played. Well, it's the same thing in life. There's times you got to say full throttle down. I got a pilot's license. It's really interesting because when you get down to the beginning of that runway, it's called lights, camera, action, and that action is a throttle. When you take that throttle, man, it goes all the way down. You don't just sort of go, well, let's see how it does. Well, we'll do halfway and see if we get any lift, and if we do, then I'll put it a little more. I don't think so. You want lift? You want to soar? You want to make this thing fly? You don't mess around like that. That's how you crash. What you do is you say, if I'm doing this, here's the runway. There's only one way to do this. Full throttle. Bam. And that thing goes down, and you hold on for, I'll tell you, first time I ever soloed, I've had any pilots in here, you know what I'm talking about. I remember we're doing all these go-rounds, and we land, and my pilot gets out. I'm like, where are you going? He looked at me and goes, I'm getting a sandwich. I go, okay, me too. He goes, no, you're staying here. I go, we're on the runway. He goes, I know, you better move the plane. I'm like, good, okay. So door shuts and sitting there, and it's like engine's running and tower's talking to you, or ground's he's like, okay, let's do this. And so it was like, man, and that's how I think some of you guys are at. It's like, do I really want to do this? And you're looking at the runway, and you're like, I've done this before with some folks, and maybe some of them aren't here anymore. Maybe it's time to solo. Maybe it's time to solo. Maybe it's time to, just sit up straight and go, I can do this. I can do this. I'm worthy, right? I can do this. And just look down there and hold on tight, but here's the key. If you're going to make it happen, it really does have to be a full throttle. Bam. And I remember running down that runway, this full power. I remember pulling back on the yoke just a little bit, and as soon as I lifted up off the ground,